All right, so this is a recording to see, how we can arrive to the conclusion that, um, this uh, particular CNF cannot resolve to contradictions. Let me get rid of the asterisks for now. Here we go. All right, so we want to look at the potentials, of what can potentially be resolved to zero, because in order to resolve to a contradiction, you need a variable and just the negation of the variable. Which means if a particular variable has no negation in this entire thing, those particular clauses are really useless because to resolve with any one of those clauses will end up with the variable that has no uh, negation of. So that means 3 and 4 are not useful to on any path that will lead us to a contradiction. So we can basically ignore 3 and 4 when it comes to try to do resolution. So now we can try a very systematic approach to do it. So we can now say, okay, what can one resolve with? 1, 2 cannot resolve. 1, 6 can resolve. Okay, so number 8 is resolving 1 and 6, and 1, 6 resolves to P or R. There we go. Nope, I take it back. 1, 6 resolves to Q or R. There we go, because we're getting rid of P. And that's all we can do with 1, 6. Yep. Okay. Um, 1, 5 can also resolve. Okay, so 1, 5 is a better resolution because between 1 and 5, the Q not Q can resolve away, and we end up with just P in it. Let's see. So we have 1, 2 already evaluated. 1, 3 we ignore. 1, 4 we ignore. 1, 5 is already done. 1, 6 is already done. 1, 7 would also work. Okay, so we'll work with 1, 7. So 1, 7 would resolve to P or not R or S, like so. And that's it, right? And then 1, 8, it's we are already done because this is already the result of a resolution from earlier. This is also one from earlier, so we are done with those. So now we look at 2. Okay, so 2 can resolve with nothing. So technically 2 can resolve with 3, but because 3 we can ignore because it has a T in it. So that means 2 cannot resolve with anything below that. Um, Well, not entirely true. So 2 can resolve with anything that has a not P in it. So 2, 6 can resolve. It can resolve to R or not S. And then 2 can also resolve with 7, 2, 7. 2, 7 will resolve using S not S. So we end up with P or not Q or not R. There we go. And then 2, 8 cannot resolve. 2, 9 cannot resolve. 2, 10 can resolve. Okay, so 2, 10 can resolve to P or not R. Okay, which is a new term at this point. And then 11, 2, 11 cannot resolve. 2, 12 cannot resolve because that's actually from resolving 2 to begin with. Oh, this is supposed to be 2, 10. Um, I'm just double checking. Yep, okay. So we have now exhausted everything with 2 for now. So now we look at 3. 3 we ignore, 4 we ignore, we go to 5. So 5 cannot resolve with 6, cannot resolve with 7, can resolve with 8. So 5, 8 resolves to P or R. There we go. And then 5, 9. Okay, so let's take a look. 5, 9. 5, 9 cannot resolve. 5, 10 cannot resolve. 5, 11 cannot resolve. 5, 12 certainly cannot resolve because 5 is a subset of 12. And so we are done. So we are done with 5. So now we look at 6. Okay, so we'll look at how 6 can resolve. 6 can, oh, I just missed one over here. So 5, 6, I forgot about 5, 6. 5, 6, does resolve to not Q or R. Okay, there we go. All right, so 5, 6, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 9. I just wanted to make sure that we exhaust all the fives already at this point. Okay. And then we go to 6. So 6, 7 can resolve. Okay, 6, 7 resolves to not P or not Q or S. Basically, the R goes away. And this is a new term. Okay, so that's good. 17 is going to be, let's look at 6, 8. 6, 8 cannot resolve. 6, 9 can resolve. Okay, so 6, 9 does resolve, and they resolve to just R, which is potentially useful. So 6, 9 resolves to R. Okay. What about 6, 10? 6, 10 also resolve to not R or S, which is uh, potentially useful. So we have 6, 10, I think. 6, 10. Oh, no, 6, 10 resolves to something that is useless. It is just true. Okay, so the reason why that is the case is if we use the not P to resolve with this P over here, then we have R contributing from one side and not R contributing to the other side. So it's just true, which means it is not useful. So we have 19. Okay, so we are now evaluating 6, 11. 6, 11 did not resolve. Okay, 6, 12 can resolve. So 6, 12 resolves, but it is not useful because if we have resolution between 6, 12, then if the P and not if the not P and the P resolve, then we have R and not R remaining, and vice versa. So either way, it's going to give us just true. So that's not going to be useful. So 6, 12 is just true, which is not useful. 6, 13. So between 6, 13, same situation. They can resolve, but they just give us true, which is not useful. And then 21 is 6, 14. Okay, so we are looking into 6, 14 and see if they can resolve. They do resolve. Okay, 6, 14 resolves to something that potentially is useful, but it's just R, but R is already here. So that means this one is also from the perspective of future resolution is also useless because 17 is the same as this one. So we look at 6, 15. So 6, 15 cannot resolve. 6, 16 can resolve, but it resolves. Okay, 6, 16 does do resolve to not Q or R or S. Let me double check. So 6 is here. 16 is here. Nope, they do not resolve. Okay, I take it back. That's my bad. So 6, 16 do not resolve. 6, 17 do not resolve. So we are pretty much done with 6. So now we look at 7. 7, 8 do resolve, but it is resolving to just true, so it is useless. Okay. 23 is going to evaluate 6, I mean 7, 9. 7, 9 do not resolve. 7, 10 do not resolve. 7, 11 do not. They it 711 resolved to true. Okay, so 711 resolved to true. Okay, so let me just kind of point out why they resolve to true. So this is 7, this is 11, and we can see how, one has not R, the other one has R, and then one has S and the other one has not S. Every time you have two potential variables that can be used for resolution, the result of the resolution is always going to be true, which means it is useless. So that's why, they do resolve, but it doesn't resolve to anything that's useful. So we have now 712. Okay, so 712, 712 do not resolve. 713 do not resolve. 714, 714 do resolve. Okay, so 714 resolves to, so that's 14. So we have P. The R is gone, so we have not Q or S over here. And it is new to us. Okay, so that's kind of nice. And then we look at 715. So 715 do resolve. Okay, so we get rid of the R in this case. So 715 resolve to not Q or S. Okay, so I believe that is new. 26, we are attempting 716. 716 do not resolve. And then 717 do resolve. So 717 do resolve. 717 resolve to not Q or S, which is the same as before, which is the same as 715. So this one is not going to be useful for future consideration. So 27, we move on to 8. 8, 9 do not resolve. So we are going to continue this later, okay, because I have a meeting to attend to right now. Um, but essentially, we are just going to be systematic going, at this, and then we'll go back to um, once this is done. Okay, so I'm going to complete this whole process, as tedious as it is, and then we're going to go back to, can we make that conclusion a little earlier to make sure that they cannot the whole expression, using the first 7 items simply cannot be solved to false. So we'll kind of pause here and I'll upload the notes, for now, so just so that you guys can take a look at it. All right.